Hello and welcome to episode 71 of the Nerds at Large Gaming Podcast. I remember because 70 was kind of a big deal, I guess, last week. I'm Darby Holland.
I am Jeff Mapp.
And it is Red Dead Week. Or whatever. I guess we're a little past it. Whatever. It's the first podcast post Red Dead.
Red Dead hasn't been out in a week. It's Red Dead Week.
Yeah, you're right. I'm sorry. It is absolutely
Reviews haven't even been out a week. Come on, Darby.
You're right. The sheer amount I've played it, you would have thought it had been out longer, but it's actually only been a few days. I've just put a lot of time in those few days.
Yeah.
We are going to get into all of our Red Dead Redemption 2 impressions. And if you aren't interested in Red Dead, we are going to have a time stamp for whenever we get out of that. But that is going to be right here at the beginning, and it's going to be pretty long. So strap in.
Get on your horse.
Get on your horse and strap in. How you doing, though, Jeff?
Pretty good. How about you?
I am doing pretty well. Getting my wisdom teeth taken out this week. Not looking forward to that, though.
Hey, I guess we'll throw that in there. Maybe no podcast this week. We don't know.
Yeah, it might not be because I might be out of commission. We might be able to get something together, but we don't know. But we might be getting the Spider-Man Spoilercast this week, potentially. So
And maybe Smash Direct's reaction/discussion.
Yeah, if we can do that, if there is a Smash Direct, we will find some way on this
You
earth
could
to do
be
that.
high on painkillers.
That might make it better, Jeff.
Yep. It might make you even more excited or more angry.
Everything will be heightened. All emotions heightened.
I kind of want it to be Friday after you get your wisdom teeth taken out.
That would be pretty funny.
I come over here, you're all high, like,
Smash. Yeah. It'd be that. We probably get a lot of views that way.
Yeah. we make sure to put that in the title.
Absolutely. Yeah, kid high off of his mind gets excited about Smash. Okay. Well, I guess first things first, Jeff. Let's talk about this little tiny game called Mario Party. Super Mario Party. No. Let's talk about Red Dead Redemption 2, which both of us played. I thought that this was just going to be me talking about this game when it came out, but I guess the hype got to you, Jeff.
It's partly that, and for me personally, nothing really around this time.
That's also true. That's also true. For a lot of people, there is a lot of things, but yeah, there's not much for us. This is probably all I'm going to be coasting the rest of the year until Smash. Yeah, this and Smash is probably it for me.
For a while, because you don't really have much anything going into next year that you really won't.
No.
Not early. There's stuff you're interested in. But.
Yeah, Fire Emblem is probably the biggest immediate thing for
April,
next
May.
year. Oh yeah, I keep thinking that's early spring. Yeah, you're right. Yeah, there's a few other things, but nothing huge. And this is going to be a long game.
Yeah,
I have no clue how much of time I've put into it. I don't know if they have a play.
They
timer.
don't. I hate it.
Yeah, I hate it. I love it. I
take the point off.
All games should have that. Yep.
That should be a basic feature.
All right, we're at 9 out of 10 right now.
Yeah. We just start at 10 and
just keep knocking things off. I can't make my horse poop on command like in Metal Gear. 8 out of 10. But I don't know how much time I've put into it, but it has to have been a lot, and I still know I have so much more to go. Just to show where I'm at, I just started chapter 3, which I don't know if all the chapters are like the same length or anything like that. I doubt it, but there's just a lot of missions and a lot of things goes into each.
I imagine they range, because the first chapter is definitely substantially.
Obviously, yeah, right. But
and it probably depends on what you do,
right?
Because this game is open,
very, very, very open, and just broad view from just the time we've spent. I am blown away by this game. I am absolutely blown away. There's all the things that I was worried about with the things that kind of sound potentially tedious on paper when you hear about like. Arthur will get skinny if you don't eat. His beard grows out and you have to cut it. You have to feed your horse.
You gotta
bathe, or you look.
You gotta
gross.
keep the camp to supplied and all that kind of stuff.
Right, and you have to keep track of your horse. If your horse dies, you're kind of screwed. You have to steal a horse or go find someone else. It means something. You can't just go back. All these things, and fast travel is almost non-existent.
Yeah.
All these things sound like they could be really tedious. But once you're playing the game, I feel like it's a very crucial piece to this. And it makes it, all those things, it's not going to work for everyone, but for me, all of that, really drives in the fact of making this, kind of one of the most immersive games I've had. You feel, leaving the camp and stuff, you need to prepare to do that and that kind of stuff. And I know you said that you were worried about that as well.
Oh, yeah.
But how has that turned out for you?
I think it's fun. Oh yeah, I guess so people know. Me and Darby have talked about Red Dead a good bit just a couple days ago.
Yeah.
So we might be referencing that kind of stuff, like
Yeah.
updating each other.
We will re-go over our conversation.
I feel a lot bad about the camp. Okay, you know how I mentioned, there. As far as like, okay, I'll just put this out there as well. As far as spoilers go, we're probably not gonna do major story modes. We're probably gonna do just kind of generic things. At least in my playthrough, as far as like the stuff that's happened, I can say it broad and not really being a spoiler.
No, like, and we will 100% end up having like a spoiler cast at some point or whatever. Right now, we're not going to go into any deep story spoilers. Obviously, I guess if you want to completely not know absolutely anything, then maybe tread cautiously. But we're not going to get into any like story spoilers.
Yeah, the most we're probably going to do is like general mission structure and what kind of missions there are, which I don't think is really those aren't really spoilers.
They're not.
Yeah. Okay. So, you know how I mentioned to you, like, I did not have the ledger, or I couldn't open it, or whatever? Well, that was fixed. I don't know if it was you needed to do it, or it's just I did enough to do it. The ledger appeared after I did my first debt collector mission.
Okay.
And that's when all that opened up with the camp and everything. Okay. So... yeah, so
I guess I never went over there to look for it.
Yeah, so people don't know in the camps there supply things like for food, ammunition, and medicine and stuff that is saying is there the whole time, and that the whole time up to this point said I was low/out. It's like looking like, okay, what am I doing? How do I refill this? Like, what's going on?
Right.
I'm just putting money in this box and nothing's happening. Like,
Dutch is taking all my money.
Yeah. But after I did this mission, the ledger opened up, which shows all the stuff you put in, how much costs, and how much the other campers do. Right. By the way, you put in a whole lot more than everyone else. They're like, I don't even know what they do all day. I'm just saying.
Here's a watch.
That's 90 cents.
It's like, okay, cool. Thanks. Yeah. Thanks, Bill.
Yeah. But yeah, with the ledger, you can buy stuff and upgrade on kind of stuff.
Yeah.
That makes me feel a lot better about the camp.
Okay, so you're a lot more into the camp at this point.
Yeah, I wasn't like worried about the camp. It's more like the camp stuff. I was like, am I doing something wrong?
Yeah. After we talked is when I finally started getting enough money to where I could buy things comfortably, and I was starting to get a lot of those like small little advancements. I haven't done much in the like crafting upgrades or whatever when you have to like kill certain animals and stuff. Yeah. I haven't done that because I have trouble getting the perfect pelt too when I do happen to see an animal. Mm-hmm. But
yeah, when I got the ledger, I immediately upgraded medicine, ammunition, and food.
Yeah, and all the like armory, weapon, ammunition stuff is definitely where I went.
It's already 200 in the pot then.
Yeah, I ended up like going over the camp's funds and it just dipped into my thing again. I'm like, okay, well, I guess whatever, that's fine.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's just part of this where there's so many options in this game of things to do. It starts out obviously very slow. Slow and deliberate.
Yeah, because first chapter, spoilers, is very linear.
Yeah, but I know some people don't, and I haven't actually talked to you specifically about this, but I loved that start. I just thought that it was really cool way. I liked that it was linear, and I liked that it was kind of slow, and you go through that, because I feel like by the time you get into the open world with the camp and you're doing all these different quests for people, you already kind of know these people.
Yeah, and I kind of liked how, and this is coming from someone who did not play the original Red Dead, I liked how slowly through the first chapter introduce the mechanics and stuff like that. So if you, let's say, just started in the camp with Upworld, I would have been probably overwhelmed. Too much stuff's going on.
And so in a way that happens with Red Dead, with the first Red Dead, and the biggest thing as far as just the kind of tutorial area that I can give this one props over the first one is the first one, it was just the tutorial things were just really boring, and it was just we're just going to drive over the head. This is how you ride horses. This is how you do this. And it's literally you're just running errands for this lady. And it's just it's not interesting at all. And here, it's just they tell you how to do it once, and they expect you to know how to do it. And your tutorial stuff is story stuff. It's fascinating, cool stuff is happening while you're learning, while it's teaching you the mechanics, which I think is crucial for a tutorial to not feel pulling teeth. Which it was really good. And just, we already knew it, but the visuals in this game are something else.
Imagine the see on a 1X.
Yeah, I've heard that it's a pretty insane jump up if you have like a 4K TV and a One X. I'm sure. I can't even imagine. And
we have basic ass PS4s.
Stock PS4s. We're cheap boys.
Yep.
But it looks great on my stock PS4. And this game is definitely going to come to PC at some point, I feel like. I mean, GTA 5 did. So
did you see the Jason Schreier tweet I retweeted? I was saying he said he can't wait for the PC mod so he can ride BoJack Horseman around.
Probably will. Or only ride the BoJack Horseman blimp. Just everything, like the balloon thing. Yeah, Red Dead mods could get pretty fun.
Yeah,
Red Dead, yeah, could get very fun. I lost my train of thought.
BoJack can do that.
Anyway, I thought that the pacing has not really bothered me. The slow pace of it, I kind of brought up to you when we were talking before, like off the podcast, that in an interesting way, like this game is reminding me of Breath of the Wild in very like kind of weird ways. Like it's obviously very different. It's very different from Breath of the Wild, but I feel like both games kind of like take their time and you move at kind of like a slow pace where like they want you to kind of just be there in these like kind of quiet moments going through the world and stuff, because when you're going from town to town or missions or anything like that, you're not, you can't just in 2 clicks be fast traveling to the next town, and you have to actually like make sure you have the supplies to get there and like everything. You're gonna run into dangerous stuff on the road and everything.
Run into random missions, like you think you're gonna go do something, and suddenly someone's coming over like, "Help me, Mister."
Yeah, you help them. Just it turns into this whole big thing. It's like, oh yeah.
Yep. No, that's something I love. That when I'm just out doing normal stuff, I keep on getting distracted by things or that stuff comes out, and it just feels a lot more organic than it does at about any other game.
Yeah, like I mean, to make the comparison, we're not playing Odyssey, so I mean, this is take this comparison with a grain of salt. But just Assassin's Creed's game in general, like I hate the checklist when it comes to RPGs, when just everything is just like your icons on the map, you're checking off all these things or whatever, and it just feels like everything is scripted, and you're just like, okay, that one. I so much more prefer this, where it's like I go into the town to buy some supplies, take a bath, and and I'm going to the hotel, and then suddenly their gunfight breaks out in the street, and it's a whole thing, and that's awesome. And then like I would talk to you about things, and you're like, yeah, this dude like got his arm amputated and stuff like this. It's
I know problems. Yeah, just mentioning this. Because
just like
it's something
things.
People who played may not ever see.
Right.
Like, I did a side mission that I was like about to go out on my horse. A guy in the distance, I saw a guy on a horse, but he looked like he was hungover dead. And when I got closer, he fell off, and then I heard him like kind of cry a little bit. It's like, oh, he's alive. It's like, can you help me? It's like, okay,
sure.
Put him on my horse or whatever. Took him to the doctor, and just this is one of those things. Like, man, they went all out with a lot of this stuff. I'll just use this as an example. I took him to the doctor. He gave me money. And the doctor was like, okay, you may want to leave. I'm about to amputate this guy's arm. And I could have left at that moment after I got the money, but I stayed because the dialogue kept on going.
Yeah.
And he immediately injected the guy with something to knock him out, and then he started sawing his arm off, and he's kept on going, and it came off. I mean,
it's like the whole animation was there.
The whole thing, and it came off, and then I left like. And there are multiple other instances of that where it's like, they didn't have to do this stuff. A lot of other games, and I don't fault the other games for doing this. Like, they could have just stopped right there and you just leave or have to leave. But you can stay there and get this little extra stuff that most people probably won't even see, because
I feel like so many other games it would have been like, hey, you should leave for this, and then you just appear outside of it or something.
Or you forcibly walk out the door.
Yeah, or something like that. But they made this whole like, they had to design this whole thing where this guy they had to animate this guy getting his arm chopped off and all of this just for the people who stay, and then that's just the people who stay who also happen to help this guy.
Yeah. Who happened to find this guy and happened to help him.
Right. And like, again, I'm not spoiling what the quest is, but like, I was just in a whole quest that I just did where we went off and like it was an entire like big ordeal with like a local gang and all this other things that happened that were big deal things that happened. And the start of the quest was like I was walking through camp. I was walking about to get on my horse, and then I heard two of our like gang members fighting with each other, and like it was getting really violent. And I went over there and I intervened, and then this whole quest happened. But like the game was not stopping me from moving away. Like their voices were starting to get like faint in the distance. Like I could have just left. I have no clue what would have happened if I had just left. But that's like what's so. I feel like this game kind of like fulfills a lot of those things in open world, even like open world games that I love. But I feel like this one, just these small stories feel so real and organic. And even they do such a good job of making you feel like you really are stumbling on these, that these aren't scripted, you know, even when they definitely are at times, but they do a very good job of like, you know, making everything seem seamless.
Yep.
Like through the world and everything, and just the attention to detail. Like I'll like this one mission I like fell into some mud. Like I was running away from like police officers or whatever, and I tripped and fell like on the right side into a bunch of mud. And I got up and kept running to the mission, and then when the cutscene started, Arthur had mud on just the right side of his face, and like just like the tight parts of his body where he hit the mud, and his like face was caked in it. I was like, that's crazy. I mean, that's like so much time had to be put into just making that kind of thing happen.
Yeah.
And the infamous horse testicles. Like the sheer amount of detail in this game is absurd.
Yep.
And that's the type of thing that kind of like sets it apart from even the Horizon Zero Dawns or the Witcher 3s of the world, where like, yes, the world's beautiful in those games or whatever, but like I'm writing something for Twinfinite that should be going up soon, where I've kind of talked about that, and like how Horizon, like there's times where like, you know, it'll be pouring down rain, but the NPCs like don't change at all. They just like stay in the same places or whatever and act like nothing's happening. And there's just like little details like that would, oh, I'm playing a video game right now. I feel like Red Dead like does such a good job of filling those, and most of those details you'll probably never see, but that's kind of like what they're going for. You know, it's really cool.
I hear you. Oh yeah, just going back, because you know, you mentioned Breath of the Wild. I'm curious to see a Venn diagram of people who played both, of the people who like Breath of the Wild and Red Dead or whatever, and how like maybe how big the circle is for both liking it. I feel like in some ways, like you said, it's kind of similar.
They're like oddly similar. Yeah, I guess I never like finished that train of thought. They're like just. They kind of both, in comparison to just all the other open world games I play, like just kind of the serenity and just the like, we're gonna just set you out in the world and like you make your own experiences and just kind of exist out here for a while. It was the same like in Zelda. I very rarely fast traveled, even though I could, because it was just like that world was so much fun to traverse and just like to spend several hours climbing a mountain and doing, you know.
And it seems like similar. People have similar complaints for both games.
Yeah, I mean, oh yeah, and that's the other thing. Like, I'm kind of, I finally started to see more people with like kind of this isn't for me takes on Red Dead, which I'm surprised I haven't seen more of those.
I think it makes sense that, because it feels like with these AAA games, because up until like when we were talking before, we mainly heard reviewers' opinions or people like Kind of Funnies, the influencer opinions, where a lot of times they're more, I feel like, more positive about these things than normal, like than the average Joe.
And especially I think critics like games like this. This is a like kind of game-changing game, like for better or for worse. I mean, like some people won't like it, but like this game definitely bucks video game norms in a lot of ways, and like critics seem to like that kind of thing.
This will be a game, and I feel like we'll be hearing this with this and Breath of the Wild when, you know, a couple of years from now, when we're new open world games are getting announced. Red Dead and Breath of the Wild, for different reasons or similar reasons, will be named influences.
I mean, right now, obviously, I'm not far enough in Red Dead to say for certain, but I mean, like, I think those are probably my two, like, at least two of my favorite, with The Witcher 3 also being up there, open world games of this generation, or just probably of all time. But and I do think, like, is as real as The Witcher's world feels or whatever. I mean, like, a lot of times, like, the story is what drives The Witcher 3 things, but there's a lot of, like, weird video gamey stuff in there that I just feel like Red Dead has been able to take that stuff out. With the exception, I will say, just to like kind of talk about the things that maybe aren't the best, the combat and the shooting and stuff is not like the best of the best with these. It's it's what you would expect from a Rockstar game at this point. You know, I think if you played GTA 5, you've played Red Dead 1, I think it's better than those, but it's still a Rockstar game. It still can be a little weird and janky at times. Everyone's gonna have that story where you accidentally hit the wrong button and you shoot a shopkeeper in the chest. And you're like, oh no!
I'm happy to say I've been reading stuff, and that's happening apparently to a lot of people, or punching the horse.
Yeah,
none of those have never happened to me, and I play about 15 to 20 hours.
I haven't actually shot somebody, but I was in the town and I was just trying to like buy a drink or something.
And you accidentally pulled out your gun?
Yeah, I pulled out my gun, and there's been another time where I just shot the ground and everyone started running, and then the cops started coming after me. I'm like, I didn't mean to do that. I have had that happen to me, but...
Yeah. Also, apparently it's a popular thing where people keep on running into people with a horse, and then the cops grab them. Like, man, you guys must be bad controlling the horse, or having bad luck when you have a level 1 horse.
Yeah.
Because that's never happened to me.
It hasn't happened to me. I mean, I've run over like sheep and stuff in the wild. But screw those sheep. You know?
I run over a bunny.
Oh, you monster!
It came out right in front of me, man.
Although Andy, I'm kind of funny.
Yeah,
he talked about
I listened that earlier.
Yeah, killed a dog. Poor dog. I guess my one other story that I've just been telling every time I talk about Red Dead, of just like the moment when I like kind of realized that this is a different sort of game, was it was early in the game, and I was like leaving the camp, and I left the camp for like the first or second time, and I hunted a deer out in the wild, and I like skinned the animal, put it on my the carcass on my horse and everything, and it was getting dark, so I was going back to camp, and I was like going full speed back in the camp, like, and I like thought it was gonna be like The Witcher 3 and so many other games I played like this, where it's like you can go full speed, and if you like run into something, they'll always be like, whoa, and then you just walk around or something, or the horse just kind of like dodges it instinctively. I'm just used to it, so that was my muscle memory with this. So I was going full speed into this dark wooded area, and then suddenly I hit a tree. He like slams into it, the horse collapses, Arthur goes flying like 10 yards, the carcass like falls on the ground in the bushes. It's like the screen's flashing red, I'm about to die. Like, I run over there, I'm like, I literally just got this horse. Is he already dead? The horse was alive, but that kind of like told me that was like, for some reason, that one is really funny and weird, but that one captures how my mind was already thinking like, oh, this is gonna be like all the other video games I did, and then like Red Dead's like, no.
Nah.
If you're riding into a dense wooded area in the pitch black dark, you should be careful. Like, if you go full speed, you would be asking for your horse to slam into something.
My horse has got an irritated when I just kind of run into a bush while walking slowly.
Yeah, mine too. I'm constant. I don't know about you, I don't even know if it like does anything really to help, but anytime I like hit some big like ditch or something and my horse is like, or whatever, I always pet it. I'm sorry about that one.
Of course.
But
horse the best friend.
Yes, horse is best friend. And all this, we've talked about all the mechanics and stuff, which I really do think is the like shining part of this game, but also like the story is so good so far. Like, I love every single one of these characters in this game, because I think right from the start, every single one of them is distinct. They're funny at times, and like they have this very unique relationship where at first you're like, okay, they really like, they just work together, but they really don't like each other. Like, they're very mean to each other. But then as you spend more time with them, you're like, oh no, that's kind of just how they are. That's the only way they know how to show their emotions and everything. They actually do have a deep familial bond, and you'll like save someone's life or whatever, and you'll like put your life in danger to do it and get them, and you'll be like, I was about to not save you, you're not worth it anyway, or whatever.
I had a mission that you're probably referencing. I think I just did.
I mean, like, stuff like that's happened multiple times where it's like they say horrible things to each other, but you know they actually do care, but they're a bunch of outlaws, so like they're gonna turn on each other at times, and it's like and they know what they're doing is wrong, and they know that society is moving past them, but it's the only thing they know how to do, and they're so far like being hunted down that it's kind of like they can't just decide to stop. It's very interesting. I love it all.
Yeah, I really like the characters in this as well. When we were talking about it the other day, I mentioned like I don't see much point in playing maybe Red Dead Redemption 1 going back and doing that. Yeah. Like, just because I feel like it'll be outdated, but I'm really liking these characters, so I kind of want to go play it so I can find out what their fate is, because I have not played it. You know who's survives all stuff. I don't.
Right. And that's, like, honestly, like, this would be one of the better ones of these to go back to, not in a gameplay perspective, because it's going to be a little outdated, but story-wise...
Oh, yeah, I'm still going to mainline that.
I mean, but
if I do go back.
Story-wise, it feels like this is going to lead probably, I mean, if not right into Red Dead Redemption 1, pretty close. Like, because this is definitively a prequel. Like, you hear about this gang in the first one, just kind of in vague terms. But, yeah, it's very much. And it is really interesting as someone who's played Red Dead, like, doing these missions with John Marston and being like, oh wow, you're a very different character now, and it makes sense because you're younger and you're in this horrible gang. Because, like, spoilers or whatever, like, he's getting brought, like, he had not been like, you get this immediately in Red Dead 1. He had not been part of the gang for a while, and then he gets roped back into like being an outlaw and stuff like that. So it is very interesting to, like, see how much of a different character he is now. And even, like, Arthur is way more like just kind of brutal and, like, kind of a bad dude at times in this one versus, like, John Marston in the first one. Yeah. But it's also, this is them at the height of their, like, they're outlaws. They're out there doing this or whatever, and they know it's bad. And I love that there are times where it's like, I'll do something horrible in the game, in the quest, where it's like, Jesus, like, that was terrible thing that I just did with Arthur just did. And then, I don't know if you've been reading the journal entries, but I'll go back and read the journal entry, and you kind of, like, I feel like the journal is kind of the only place you're seeing the real Arthur. You're seeing the place where his guard is down and he knows no one's reading it anyway, and you see his real thoughts, and he's like, no, I hate that I just did it. Like, I really want to stop and stuff. And I think that's very compelling. Yeah. I like that a lot. If you and anyone playing it, try to read the journal as you go or whatever, so you don't end up having to read like 1,000 pages at once, because then you're gonna get bored with it and you're not gonna want to, because the journal is way worth it. You need to read the journal. Just try to read it periodically.
I wonder if that would help Greg Miller. I think his complaints.
Yeah, and I do get it. I get, like, I was gonna say, like, I get people who don't like this game from the tedious mechanic part or whatever. If it doesn't vibe with you, then all those things are gonna be tedious. I also get that this is a very slowly told story and deliberately told story. So, yeah, like, I feel like at the first you're seeing these characters and they're not very redeemable right now and everything. But I'm not even at the end, but I know that they're slowly getting there, and you're starting to see their, like, way of life fall apart and stuff like this. And I do think it would. I think the journal is where you do kind of see the real Arthur when he can't be honest with other people. And if you're willing to stick around through that story, I think it's going to be awesome. And I think you're going to see a redemption, or you're going to see, you're going to see Arthur change. You're going to see all these men change. And I do think Greg's, like, a lot of his complaints were that you're just bad and he doesn't want to play the bad guy and stuff like that. I do think the journal is an interesting, like parallel side to the horrible events you're doing.
Indeed.
Yep. Ooh, I love this game, Jeff.
It's pretty great. It's making me wonder where it will fall at the end of the year thing.
I don't want to be too hyperbolic, but yeah, we'll just have to see. And I have a lot more games left to play. But
we got at least 2 months before you even get to that.
We fine.
Unlike a lot of people, we're waiting till January at least.
Yeah. It's not like it's going to get that many views anyway, Jeff. Yeah. But it's a great game. I'm just so glad that you're, number one, playing it, number two, liking it. I was a little worried. Even when I was playing it, I was like, I really love this, but I know Jeff doesn't play the specific type of game all that much, so, like, I didn't know where exactly you'd fall on it. But you will definitely hear more Red Dead talk, because I can't shut up about it.
Yep, and we know Jacob is planning to get it at some point. Not very soon.
Yeah, I haven't talked to Will.
Yeah. I talked to him this week, you know?
Maybe. Mario Party.
Mario Party.
Mario Party.
I almost forgot again. This won't be as long.
30 minutes into this podcast.
Oh boy. It's going to be a long one, Derby.
I expected it. Whatever.
We're going to have one next week, so it's okay.
Yeah. About 2 weeks ago now?
Something like that.
We played Mario Party. We had a group of 5 friends, and, like, we played 2 different games. One time, like, one of us doubled up, and yeah, whatever. Yeah. But we had the full Mario Party experience. Jeff, how does this Mario Party stack up? Like, we have gotten, I feel like the last few, especially the last one, was kind of less than exciting with this dumb car stuff.
The last couple have been disappointing.
It's been a while. It's been a while since
it's been a while. It's hard to say, man, how it stacks up to like the N64, like maybe / GameCube ones. Because it's been a while since we played those.
Yeah. Well, honestly, I think probably like that's the easy question to ask. I think the more important question is like, if you have a Switch or whatever and you want a fun party game, is this a fun party game?
It is.
It is a fun party game.
Yep. So yeah, mini games are fun so far. A fair amount of them use the like motion gimmicks and all that kind of stuff. In this game you have to use one Joy-Con. I know that was kind of a complaint going into it, but I think that is a non-issue.
No, I think it works. I like that. I mean, like, because I think they use motion stuff, but they use it like low enough, like a small enough number of games, and I think they use it in interesting ways.
Yeah, and
it's kind of just. I think it's better this way because, like, all you need is 4 Joy-Cons and you're good. You just need, if 2 people have a Switch, you do doop, doop, doop. All right, we're good. We go. Yeah. So, ease of use.
And luckily for us, we have plenty of Joy-Cons between us. We have like 12,
a dozen. Swimming in Joy-Cons.
Yeah. So, yeah. And I guess the main complaint or main negative compared to older Mario Party is the maps. The fact that there are only 4 and they don't feel as dynamic. I would say the most dynamic one of the ones we play is the fruit one.
Yeah, and I mean that might have been my least favorite one. Like, just with also I did get trapped on an island for literally the entire time, and I feel like that
almost worked out for you.
That one's like hard to move around on. Like, I like the forest ruin one and the bomb one a lot, but there needs to be more. I feel like they might do a Splatoon thing or whatever and add more things onto this. I'm hoping, because if not, this is content light for sure. Like, this game is a little too content light. Yeah,
unfortunately, normally that stuff they announce it before launch.
Yeah,
and it's been out about a month now, close to that. Like, it came out at the beginning.
Has it been a full month?
I mean, not a full month, but like in a week or so. It came out at the beginning of October, I think, first week.
Yeah.
I mean, if it came out, let's say we played it 2 weeks ago, we got it a week late.
Yeah, that is true. But, I mean, that being said, I think even with only 4 maps or whatever, I still think it's worth getting if you have a group that regularly or, like, somewhat regularly gets together and can just every now and then, like us, we just have a bunch of, like, multiplayer games that we have in, like, rotation, basically, that we just play whatever we feel like. And I feel like it's very well at home there, and it's very much like it kind of goes back to old Mario Party feel, but with a lot of interesting new mini games. I think there's a lot of different mini games that they haven't gotten old yet from us. We haven't played too much, and they have interesting new mechanics. Like, I think the dice.
I like the character dice a lot.
Like, every character has their own unique dice that they could use. That you can use the normal dice or you can use their dice, and most of them have like kind of a risk reward thing. Like, I think Bowser's has like 3 different. It has 3 different chances to have -3 coins.
I think if I'm right, it's 2 -3, a 1, then 8, 9, 10.
Yeah, so you could hit that 8, 9, or 10, and like boom, you're ahead, or you can have -3. So it's kind of a gamble.
Or you could be Koopa, which has a 10, and then a bunch of low numbers, and then hit 10 like 5 times in a row. Julia.
And then there's
how'd you get so lucky?
And then there's some other ones. I think like Wario has like 4 6s.
Oh yeah, that was great.
Like, there's some there just like kind of even.
I definitely use that to my advantage.
It's very like it makes choosing your character more than just there's kind of some strategy on it, and there's allies you can pick up to where if you land in a certain space you get an ally and they will roll like a 1 or a 2 onto your dice roll. So it's, that's part of the strategy too.
And you can use their character dice.
Accumulate allies. I have seen people who've played enough have said that it kind of gets OP at times or whatever. It's just like you want to go for those allies to get those, but you also can't completely control it. So yeah, I don't know.
There are some times when we did when we had the allies where it hurt us.
Yeah,
because we needed a low number, but they knocked it above.
Right. Yes, definitely. The one thing is, I think the golden pipe is a little much. Like,
Yeah.
I think it at least needs to be a lot more expensive because, like, the golden pipe takes you right to the star.
And it's 10 coins.
And it's only 10. Everything is very cheap, and the star is only 10 coins. So, like, every single match, it's just gotten to, like, well, everyone has a golden star. It's like, and at the end, it's like every turn, someone's teleporting to a star constantly. And I feel like that needs to be a little less often. But overall, a lot of fun.
Yeah. I mean, if that became a big enough problem, we could make a house rule where no golden pipes.
Yeah, you definitely could. I mean, regardless, it's just a fun party game, fun Switch game. It's obviously not perfect, but I think it's what I wanted. Like, the maps is the biggest complaint for me. But,
you know what the best part is, Darby?
What's that?
I'm undefeated.
Jeff is undefeated. It's a Nintendo game that feeds off chaos, of course. Of course, Jeff is undefeated.
Okay, let's get into that there news.
Let's get into that news. News jingle.
Jingle, jingle, jingle. We got a fair amount of news, Darby. This might be a kind of long one. We have no main topic, though. Kind of, sort of.
Yeah, we probably will be cutting that one out.
Let's see here.
Let's do it.
We'll start with the CD Projekt Red thing. Since
we'll start out with some shitty news.
This is all this information comes from articles from Riley McLeod. McLeod.
I think it's McLeod.
Yeah. Riley McLeod and Heather Alexander from Kotaku. To preface this, I'm just going to read mainly bullet points. Just to give an idea. CD Projekt Red and a website that's it owns / is part of the same company, GOG.com.
Good Old Games,
Yeah, goodoldgames.com. Have had multiple controversies within the last 5 months or something.
Yeah, and there's been another one recently, and they've been repeated. So we're gonna kind of go.
If it was one-off things, we probably wouldn't say anything. But the fact is,
it's one of those things that it's like, if you just said something like you made a bad joke or whatever, which you'll see, we're kind of just talking vague terms now or whatever, and then apologize for it. It's like, okay, shouldn't have done that. They shouldn't have done that. You move on or whatever. But the fact that it's a repeated thing, so we're kind of go through the history of this. There's 3 different instances, and then we're going to talk about it.
Yeah. Okay, for the first thing, on July 17th of this year, GOG.com tweeted a picture from the game Postal 2 Paradise Lost, which is a very controversial game in its own right, which had someone pissing on a tombstone that says, game journalism, committed suicide August 28th, 2014. This date is significant because it is the time that Gamergate began. I'm not going to go to all that Gamergate stuff. No. People probably know.
You can find that somewhere else.
Yeah. GOG.com also added to that tweet as they put the picture and this is the words they had to accompany it. A game that wears its heart on its sleeve. A sleeve that is rarely safe for work. Okay. GOG removed the tweet and posted another one to explain it with a couple points. The intention behind our tweet was to inform about a release known for controversial content. Unfortunately, we failed to make the association between the image, the date, and abusive movement. Our intention was never to hurt or condone hate. Yeah.
Let's just move through them. And then
In August of this year, the Cyberpunk 2077 Twitter account responded to a fan saying, "I want more guys," and there's no comma there, so that's what led to this.
So they were trying to say, "I want more, comma, guys."
Yeah.
But
it's like, I want more guys.
It read as, I want more guys, right?
Regarding Cyberpunk news, regarding Cyberpunk news, and then the Twitter account responded with, "Did you just assume their gender?" They followed it up with a tweet that said, "Sorry to all those offended by one of the responses sent out from our account earlier. Harming anyone was never our intention." And last week, GOG came under fire again for this tweet. Classic PC games, hashtag won't be erased on our watch. Yeah, how's that for a use of hashtags? For those that don't know, the won't be erased hashtag became popular in social media following the New York Times reporting that the Trump administration plans to roll back federal civil rights protection for trans Americans, opening the door for discrimination in areas like housing, healthcare, and employment. The hashtag has been used as a rallying cry for trans people and their allies protesting these harmful movements. And I got that exact quote from Riley's article.
There you go.
The rest of it, I'm just kind of writing up. GOG quickly took down the tweet and issued a response. This one said, "Yesterday we posted a tweet containing a trending hashtag as a pun. The tweet was neither intended as a malicious attack nor as a comment to the ongoing social debate. GOG should focus only on games. We acknowledge that and we commit to it."
Yeah, so this is not something that we always like bring on the podcast. It's just kind of like whenever it feels necessary. But after like 5 months of consistent like PR, like social media problems like this, and then half-ass apologies, and then
the last one wasn't even an apology,
and then it just continues to keep happening. It's a problem.
Yeah,
like this is a bad look for one of the biggest developers, or at least just the company of one of the biggest developers in games industry right now.
Mm-hmm.
And at some point, whenever they start saying like we will get better, we'll stop doing this. At some point, I don't believe you anymore.
Mm-hmm.
And it's not. I mean, like. I get that when you are in a PR company, and especially something like CD Projekt Red or a Bethesda, not saying that Bethesda's done anything like this, but I'm just like saying these like kind of entertainment like companies that have a attitude or have just like kind of a air of loose kind of just
like a company that tries to have personality.
Right. Like they're not just buttoned up. They're not an EA. Yeah. They're not one like that. It's just going to be like, here's the canned statement or whatever. They try to be more of, this is who we are. We're just kind of like fast and loose with things. We're cool and everything. So I get that when you are in that kind of like statement or whatever, there's a pressure to tell jokes and to like be engaging or be like maybe
quick to respond, to be witty,
maybe even a little like edgy or something with things. Like I get that can be hard to do sometimes without making mistakes, but when it comes to like, there's some of these things where it's like, if one of these happen or whatever, I could say, okay, you made a mistake. But like with a lot of these, there's no way you can tell me that you didn't know that using the "won't be erased" hashtag would not cause controversy.
Yeah.
There's no way.
Yeah.
And like you come back and like have the apology. I'm almost even mad that they had the apology, because it's just like, you knew.
Again, that's like, not an apology.
No, it's not. But like, I don't like that they tried to act like they didn't know what they were doing. When you get to that point, you do. And even if like there's a lot of different things we don't know, is this like the same PR person doing all this? Is it someone different? Either way, it's bad.
Because either they're not taking care of someone who's been a PR disaster for them, or they keep on hiring people or / allowing this stuff to keep on happening.
Right. And I don't think this is, I mean, like, it's probably, I mean, not much is going to happen from this, but I do think, I mean, like, it's dumb. You're alienating your fans. I mean, there's people out there that I'm sure are probably getting fed up of the same company doing the same
I have seen some people are like,
again. It's like, okay,
yeah, screw this.
cool.
I'm not supporting CD Projekt Red. And I've seen people like delete their GOG accounts.
Yeah. I mean, like, if you just keep doing this, and like, there's another thing, they're like a Polish studio. I don't know what Polish culture is like exactly, but at the same time, your audience is primarily American at this point.
Or at least worldwide and not
worldwide.
Yeah.
It's troubling. I mean, like, I don't know. There's social media in general. I just feel like not much good comes from it in a lot of ways. Like, I'm not one of these that's just like, it's complete cancer and we need to like, shouldn't be on social media at all. But I do think it can do more harm than good a lot of times. And I think there are definitely just companies out there and people running things and just certain cultures in places or whatever that I feel like Twitter brings out the worst in them. Or at least just they don't know how to. I don't know.
Yeah.
Because either way, like, even if it was one person, then CD Projekt Red and GOG or whatever is letting that happen over and over again. Or it's just a culture thing. They're both bad.
Obviously, when I say this, I don't mean obviously not all Polish people. That's never the case for any.
No, and yeah, I'm not trying to say that like all the just like I don't know what.
I have heard reading in the Resetter threads for this that Polish people can be more conservative with this stuff generally.
Right.
Again, obviously, I mean not all Polish people, not everyone.
Right.
And CD Projekt is potentially like this, or even the person maybe doing these tweets, but
right. Yep. I mean, it's one of these you don't really know exactly what to say, what to do.
Yep.
But.
Well, it is kind of an interesting thing. Like, it in some circles, it blew up, and obviously, like, Kotaku report on this, and I think, like, Polygon and Your Game did. But feels like this didn't get as much coverage as a lot of other controversies did.
Yeah.
Probably because it's gotten into more political nature.
It's a like hot potato. It's like taking time. It's hard to touch any of these things. You know, we're gonna get a lot of backlash from our.
I mentioned to Darby this when I was like asking him.
Watch those thumbs down.
Oh no, it's like this is gonna be our most viewed thing, but it's gonna be
most disliked thing. Yeah. I mean, no. I mean, I stand by that. We maybe shouldn't be making fun of legitimate hashtags for legitimate movements for trans people or any person who's actually getting like rights taken away from them and like getting like actual real world problems that are significantly bigger than video games.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe don't touch that one.
Yeah,
that's just my take. But
yep.
I
can understand the trans community being upset about this.
Yeah, I can too.
Okay, moving on. Okay, guys, I know when I started this, I know what you're gonna be thinking. Rockstar Crunch again. This should be the last time, unless there's some giant update. So yeah.
Okay.
We mentioned this last time we talked about it. Jason Schreier was working on a giant article, interviewing a bunch of Rockstar.
Yeah, and if you want our bigger discussion, like. Our entire we had like a big 30-minute discussion or something like that last week with Jacob about the whole Rockstar situation and kind of just crunch in general video games. So we probably won't go too far into it, but this is just a little update. So.
Obviously, go read Jason's article. It's like 10,000 words or something,
but it's super good.
Yes, it's super good. Yeah, so I'm just gonna have some bullet points, and I'm gonna end it with one direct quote from it, which a lot of people were curious about. We'll get to that. So. Highlights. Jason interviewed about 75 current and former Rockstar employees about their experience with Crunch. I think it was pretty even as far as the split between, pretty close split between current and former.
Yeah.
Stories were varied, with many that were positive and many that were negative.
Mm-hmm.
So both sides of it. Even the negative ones were not necessarily as bad as the controversy when it was the peak made it bad. Mainly when it came to the hours worked.
Right.
Yeah. So not really anyone saying they worked 100-hour weeks multiple times in a row.
Yeah.
Which was something. Right. Yeah. A view shared by many seems to be that a view shared by many seems to be the hours you put in is more important than what you got done. So it seems to be the culture there.
Yeah, and I listened like on split screen. Jason and Kirk were talking about. Yeah, there was a lot of people who. There was just a culture at Rockstar, at least at certain times, where it was like you wanted to just be seen.
Oh, yeah, there was, I think in the article there were some people saying like, yeah, I was going Saturday and just making sure I was seen.
Just because you knew one of the housers would be there or whatever, and you wanted them to see you working there. I can't remember what's in the article and what's in the thing anymore, but...
the Saturday thing was in the article. At least I read it there. Most people Jason interviewed seem to have agreed that they would like to see things improved. Like, whether they were positive or negative, that seemed to be the unanimous thing.
Right.
And this is the direct quote. This has to do when all this stuff was coming out. People were like, do I buy Red Dead? Do I support the Rockstar when they're doing this stuff? And I'll just read it.
Right.
Some fans have asked if they should avoid buying or playing Red Dead Redemption 2 to show support for those who had tough experiences making it. But many of Rockstar's current employees, even those who had the worst things to say about the company, say they're against the idea. For one, those who have put long weeks into the game want people to see what they've done. Also, given that this year's bonuses will be based on royalties, any sort of large-scale boycott may hurt Rockstar employees more than it helps, some current employees have said. What fans can instead do, those people say, is speak out about crunch and workplace issues like this, helping put public pressure on the company.
Yeah, I mean, that's what, like, I think me, you, and Jacob more or less all, like, thought that same thing, but obviously it means a lot more coming from the actual people who work.
I agree, yeah. We obviously want to speak from... I don't think we were aware when we were saying that about the royalty thing, which makes perfect sense.
Yeah, it does, yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, there still is, the complicated things of it where, like, I mean, yes, it is helping them, but it's also helping the higher-ups continue to make games in the same way and everything. But this is. I mean, I think it's important to say what the actual employees
just bringing it up and putting pressure on them, which is what we're doing by discussing this. What everyone's been doing by discussing it.
Well, and that's what I think. This is like just the like media pressure and just everything like this is a way better way of making change like that happen than not buying it, which hurts the employee. It's going to hurt the employees way more than the CEO. The CEO and those type of people are going to be fine. Yeah. And we've seen, I think it used to be at a point where the video game industry wasn't big enough and didn't have enough of a spotlight to where things like this could change from pressure. Mm-hmm. But not that it's at all the same thing, but we've seen this year and last year, like Battlefront with the like microtransaction like controversy or whatever. Mm-hmm. There was a ton of media pressure, a ton of everything or whatever, and they like bent over backwards to change that game at the last second. Sony with crossplay, that was not going to happen, but it was just constant articles, constant bad press. It changed. I feel like those are cool, but the like way more important change that we need to have in the video game industry is protecting employees and making sure they have good work conditions. And I think it can happen. It's just it's gonna be slow and it's a hard egg to crack. Like we said last week in our discussion, I think unionization is a good first step, but even that needs to be improved and just everything. Yep. Very. But from what everyone said, and not saying that like not everything at Rockstar is definitely not great right now, and like Rockstar is just one company. This is pervasive across all of them. It's just this is the biggest thing right now. It's better than it was at Red Dead. Apparently, during Red Dead's development, it was just absolute hell. Yeah, that doesn't mean that we're there. It just means that it is getting better.
Because better doesn't mean it's okay.
Yes.
Okay, moving on, Darby. We'll talk about something that is okay, though.
Okay, let's do it.
This comes from Matt Brown from Windows Central. Microsoft recently announced its fiscal year 19 Q1 earnings, touting overall strong growth across its enterprise and consumer lineup. Gaming revenue specifically rose by 44%, and Xbox software and services revenue garnering growth of 36%. Following up these strong results, Microsoft CEO Satya Nadella has expanded on future gaming plans. Speaking on Microsoft's fiscal year 19 Q1 earnings calls, the firm discussed its increased cross-platform presence with the Xbox brand. Now following the success of Xbox Game Pass, Xbox One's Netflix-style subscription services for games, Nadella announced his plans to expand to PC.
This is super cool for me.
Yes.
Because this Xbox Game Pass becomes an actual thing I might get now. Obviously, I wouldn't have gotten it before because I didn't have an Xbox.
Yeah.
Which apparently we were wrong about. We thought that maybe this carried over to PC.
Yeah.
Apparently it didn't, but it's going to. So, sweet. That means that like ever-growing library, there's like 100+ games right now.
All the Microsoft exclusives.
And all the Microsoft exclusives, including Fable 4, whenever that comes out. All that stuff
I'm would saying, be XO's in like 2 weeks.
So it might be a thing I buy. I mean, I thought that service has seemed awesome, and if I can get those games on my laptop, it's at least something worth considering.
Oh yeah, and especially when we get to the next console generation, is then assuming our stuff's still strong enough to do it, we'll have no need for the console. We'll still be able to play all the Xbox exclusives.
Yeah, and this is just yet another thing where it's like Xbox is more and more like not worrying as much about like their specific success on Xbox and more on just Xbox PC, just in general, playing our games, using our services. And this will be a way that, I mean, I don't know the numbers behind it. I'm not a businessman. But I mean, this is probably going to be a way there's going to be a lot of PC only players, or like at least just PC and not Xbox players like me, might be using their services to get games, even if you're not on an Xbox. So, like, Games Pass could get a lot bigger with this.
Yes,
for sure. Yeah.
Indeed.
Yep.
Now let's talk about something that may not be as well received, Darby. Okay, so over a month ago now, the PlayStation Classic was announced with only 5 games announced. Right. Everyone's like, where are the other games?
Yeah.
Our theory was, I think, or at least our theory and some other people's theories was, maybe they'll announce like 5 at a time.
That's what it seemed like they were going for.
Yeah, then over a month passed and we're a month away and nothing. And then this morning,
they're all there.
They dropped them all. Now let's get to that list. I don't even have our list up that we made because we weren't accurate at all.
Was it down here? Yeah. I mean, not many people were, but...
No. Okay. Yeah, I'm going to go in alphabetical order and include the games that were already announced,
We have some old stuff on the stock.
We do. Okay. First game, Battle Arena Toshinden. Cool Borders 2. Destruction Derby. Final Fantasy VII.
What's that?
I don't know. Smallest game on here. Grand Theft Auto. Intelligent Cube. Jumping Flash. Metal Gear Solid. Mr. Driller. Oddworld Abe's Odyssey. Rayman. Resident Evil Director's Cut. Revelations Persona. Ridge Racer Type 4. Super Puzzle Fighter 2 Turbo. Siphon Filter. Tekken 3. Tom Clancy's Rainbow Six. Twisted Metal. And Wild Arms. Oh boy.
I mean, this lineup's not horrible and not without some very cool games. I mean, but it was just they have a few of the ones. I mean, I don't know. It's hard. You look on here and it's oh, there's Abe's Odyssey, Metal Gear Solid. I didn't even think about Grand Theft Auto before when we did this before and things like that. There's some cool games on here and even Resident Evil and everything, but when you stop and think about what could be on there and all the games
I got a couple
of
things about this.
That's what's
As I mentioned before, I have a pre-order for this. I'm most likely just going to end up canceling it.
Right.
But I think what the problem with this list is that for a lot of these games that are the big ones that you might consider essentials, like Grand Theft or Metal Gear Solid and Resident Evil, they're a better place to play these games.
That is awesome.
Because Metal Gear Solid, it's not DualShock, so you gotta use the
D-pad thing. Yeah,
which makes it worse.
And Resident Evil, you can get.
I got Remake
already. You can get that. Yeah.
And in games like Grand Theft Auto, and for example, when reading a lot of things that I can imagine don't hold up well. I think that's also the problem with just this generation in general. Less likely for games to hold up.
I mean,
than compared to the NES and SNES.
This was kind of that messing around with 3D for the first time, and it's just that stuff just in general does not hold up as well.
Mm-hmm. And then and then there are weird omissions from Sony's first party stuff like Legend of Dragoon and stuff
and Gran Turismo is crazy.
I imagine that has to do with licensing for music and cars and stuff.
Yeah.
And no Parappa. I think remasters and remakes hurt this thing bad.
Yeah,
because we mentioned Crash and Spyro and Medieval and Resident Evil 2.
I definitely was wrong because I think I remember one of my central things was that I was saying that the remakes and stuff wouldn't change this, and that Spyro and all those would still
no
be
Symphony
on
of the Night.
Oh God, you're right. Yeah.
And they worked with Konami. Metal Gear Solid is on here.
Yeah. That's pretty bad. I know it's available on PlayStation, but again, I think that this product needed to be made so that it could be marketed to even non-PlayStation people.
Yep.
And you want to... I mean, all you had to do was get enough of those big ones, and a lot of people would have bought this and then never played it. But I feel like even though there's... You know what I mean? I feel like this needed to be marketed to people even if they're not active PS4 users, and this doesn't. I mean, this doesn't... This has a few of those big ones you remember, and I still do think they'll get some people in a Target, but it's also $100. It's, no Tomb Raider. There's no a lot of things.
And then there's stuff and this is not necessarily my opinion, it's just based on I've read because I'm unfamiliar with it necessarily. Like Twisted Metal, for example, I saw a whole lot of comments saying, why Twisted Metal 1 and not 2? Because I saw also 2 is just so much better.
Yeah.
And then there's stuff like that. So, yeah, for a lot of reasons, I think between remakes and the fact that it's the PlayStation era, most of the popular games were third-party games.
Yeah.
It really hurt this.
Yeah.
And just the general thing of these generation games not necessarily holding up as well.
I agree.
So,
it'll be weird to see how it sells, but I've seen mostly very negative things about the list overall.
I guess kind of funny talked about it.
I didn't get through the whole thing. Okay. They probably do at some point. I'm just talking about the internet and just reading forum posts, stuff like that. But I don't think it's a horrible list. It's just not what it could have been,
what
it needed to be, especially with so many other things to buy.
Yeah,
and you know that N64 Classic's coming. You know that's coming. That's I don't know.
Begin that. Because most of the games that I remember following there are Nintendo games. So
yeah.
There are a couple like the rare games will probably not be on there, but
probably not. But
what can you do?
I feel like, but again, there's some of these here that I thought had to be on here and weren't. But overall, Nintendo's done pretty well with putting the right games on there.
And I think it helps that SNES games, for instance, generally hold up better as time goes on.
Oh, yeah. I mean, that early 3D area is hard.
Speaking of early 3D era, the next thing comes from Joe Scrolls from IGN. Sony World Studios chairman Sean Layden has described the PS4 version of Medieval as a remake, not a remaster, despite the game being originally advertised using the latter term. Sean Layden has to learn the difference between a remake and a remaster.
They just throw him out there and he's like, we're doing...
He called Crash a remaster and he called this a remaster.
They don't know the terminology.
Yeah. Appearing on PlayStation's Blogcast, Layden explained the approach for this new version of the Fondly Remember PS1 game. Quote, I think there have been some words that might sound alike but mean different things, like remake and remaster. This is a remake. We've taken the original game design and we've taken a lot of the key art, some of the other attributes of the game design, ethos, if you will, and we're working with a developer called Other Ocean Interactive, and they are remaking Medieval in that design, the original Medieval from PS1. The one that I worked on when I was in Tokyo.
Okay. Words have meaning, Sean.
Yeah, Sean.
I imagine... I don't know.
By the way, trailer comes out on Halloween.
Yeah, cool. I imagine... I don't know where you would be now or where you were before or whatever, but I imagine this interests you more than it would have before. There's a much better chance of it holding up if it's made in a modern image.
Indeed.
Yeah. I still do have no clue what a modern Medieval remake will be exactly, but
I'm interested. I like just the general vibe of Sir Dan from PlayStation and all sorts. So I'm willing to give this a look at least.
Yeah, absolutely.
So
I hope it would. I mean, man, Ratchet and Clank came out as $40. That was a phenomenal game. I hope this comes out as a $40 price point or something like that.
Is it being lower?
Or lower?
I mean, I guess depending how far they go with it.
Yeah.
Is it just? I guess it depends. Is this more like a Spyro remake or is this more like a Ratchet and Clank kind of thing? You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Because Spyro and Crash are kind of
well, Spyro and Crash are somewhere in between a remake and a remaster because it goes way beyond a remaster. With a normal, what we consider remaster would be is just it's HD now, basically. Crash is no, we redesigned everything, but they did keep the same core controls and everything. So it was almost a remake, but not quite. And I think Spyro is similar. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Is it going to be like that, or is it going to be completely?
We will find out in 2 days.
Yep.
And may or may not remember to talk about it when we come back, whenever the next podcast. But
depends on if that trailer just completely blows your head off, Jeff. You might be itching to talk about it.
I might admit, if I really like it, I'll just throw it on there because why the hell not? Next thing, this comes from C. Watts from GameSpot. Sony is finally allowing PlayStation Network use. Oh, by the way, okay, just audible, Darby. Should I read this whole thing since this is how old news this is?
I mean, I want do we have the actual description of the disclaimer? Because I want to at least read how absolutely insane that is.
Okay, I'll read the disclaimer part at least. Okay, because this is old news. This is the PSN name thing. It was announced right after we talked about it possibly being a thing, and then we completely forgot about when we did the last podcast.
Right. And we didn't have a podcast somewhere in there.
So I'll just read the disclaimer thing.
Yeah, the PSN name changes are happening, but there's a lot of ifs.
The disclaimer was leaked by beta members on the Resetter forum, and notes that not all games and applications support the online ID change features, so players who use it may lose access to content including virtual currency, game progress like game save data, leaderboard data, and trophy progress. It also notes that some games might not function properly, even offline, and your prior ID could remain visible to other players in some situations. If you run into issues with the change, according to the users, you can revert back to your original username at no additional fee, but that may not resolve all of the problems, and blah blah blah. The preview program will last until the end of November, and then the full feature will roll out to all users in early 2019. All games published after April 1st, 2018 will be compatible with and Sony will release a full list of compatible games published before the date when the feature goes live for everyone. Once it's live, you'll make the change through the settings menu or the profile menu. And yeah, you can also choose to display your old PSN name next to the new one so that friends will recognize you. Once you make that decision, you can't change it.
So it's been a long thing of like this happening, and apparently it is just like absolute hell to try to make this happen. And it concerns me that Sony is getting this far ahead of everything. Like they've had their own like similar statements to this that they've said officially, and then this was kind of like a leaked thing or whatever. It's concerning because like these companies don't like to say bad things or whatever that's happening with their products or whatever unless they really think it might be happening, and it's usually kind of like damage control after the fact or like little things. They've been like with the announcement of this feature, they've been like straight up things might blow up. Like your game, like your games and your progress and everything and leaderboard stuff down to just the game might not function properly. It concerns me. Like, I really am expecting this to be a little bit of a dumpster fire when it comes out, and it's made me go from, like, I'm probably going to change my name to where it's like, I guess I'm Hungry Penguin misspelled now, because, like, this does not sound worth it. This sounds
my life.
like, I mean, don't you agree? This sounds like...
I have no reason to change my name, at least, so this is no concern to me.
Right, but I think this could be a problem.
Yeah. Especially if people don't read and hear about this stuff.
Also, apparently, it's worth noting if you have like a really bad PSN name, like not safe for work bad. Apparently, if your name right now violates the rules or whatever, but you just didn't get it taken down sometimes, which happens a lot or whatever. Apparently, if you change to a new one and then try to change back, you're not going to be able to change back. So you're just stuck with all these problems. So I guess if you have a severely bad name, then maybe, I don't know. Yeah, That's about it. It's just be on the lookout because this is kind of hilarious. It's kind of funny to me. Like, I really want some documentary about this at some point because, like, apparently it must be something rough.
Good news. I think we're doing good on time.
All right.
Because we got mostly little stories.
Okay.
This is from Adam Bankhurst from IGN. Resident Evil 0, and Resident Evil 4 will be headed to the Nintendo Switch in 2019. Announced on Twitter, Capcom revealed that they are bringing multiple fan favorites to Nintendo Switch, and that more info will be revealed for these versions soon.
Cool.
Yeah, I'm actually kind of interested in this. I imagine it's Resident Evil Remake.
Yeah.
I don't know if that's officially confirmed.
Have you bought any Resident Evil games, or you just have Remake on PS Plus?
I can't remember.
You have 7.
I have 7, yeah. I think I got a couple. I might even have 0 from a Humble Bundle I got. It was a Sega Capcom Humble Bundle where I got, I think, a couple Resident Evil games. I got, like, the first 2 Dead Rising games, Valkyria Chronicles, Mega Man, Legacy Collection, I think.
That's pretty good.
Yeah, it's like $12.
We all know next February, January, wherever the hell, you might just be a Resident Evil dude. You might become a Resident Evil.
I was going to bring this up. Like,
force.
If I plan on playing Remake before I play Remake 2. I think if I like those 2, I am probably going to definitely get 4 on the Switch.
Some people say it's the best game ever made.
Yep.
Or at least close to it.
Is the Easy Allies great? It's in the Hall of Greats.
You gotta do it.
Remake and 4 are in the Hall of Greats. And it got in the same time. It was weird. But yeah, I'm interested in this. This sounds exciting. And I showed you the video of the Game Explain guy trying to put in the Resident Evil 4 disc into the Switch.
Yeah.
That guy did a thing of he put the amount of Nintendo or Resident Evil games on Nintendo platforms, and is now tied with the most with the GameCube.
Nice.
We're also like, so best Nintendo console confirmed.
Yeah. Well, cool. So, I imagine that the Switch will be the place you would get whatever ones you don't have.
Well, I've seen a whole bunch of people that have 4 multiple times. Like, well, I guess I'm getting 4 again.
I mean, it's probably like me with Final Fantasy VII. I would just continue to buy that on new consoles from now until the end of time.
So that's exciting. I'm glad I don't have 4. So when I get to it, this is where I will get it.
Got some big news next, Jeff.
Yep.
Big news.
This coming from Colin Stevens from IGN. Nier Automata's Yorha number 2 Type B, or simply 2B for short.
But so you can just go 2B.
is making her way to Soul Calibur 6.
What?
Announced on the official Soul Calibur Twitter account, no firm date for 2B's release was given, only that she was coming soon. Shadow drop at Game Awards, Dory. Let's go.
Oh, that would be pretty cool. This is pretty cool. This is a pretty awesome announcement.
And this is going on. 2B is an android created to destroy mechanical life forms and will fight using her dual blades, Virtuo Contract and Virtuous Treaty, while executing acrobatic leaps, mid-air slashes, quick evasions, and precision strikes. 2B will come with her own stage, background music, an optional costume, and extra weapons once she becomes available in Soul Calibur 6. People are hyped for this.
Very hyped. I mean, it's really cool. Like, this one that people wanted a lot, even before Geralt.
And our own Jacob Hamill is very excited for this when
we were talking about it. Oh, I guess I'm getting Soul Calibur 6.
Yeah.
I like Soul Calibur a lot. I just don't want to pay $60 for it. Whatever. Unless it might be a Black Friday thing for me or something. But like, it's really cool to have another guest character immediately and to have it that.
Well, I'll throw this out. We can talk about it later. Depending, that Target sale's going on.
Yeah.
I could if we have 2 other games between us and mine, we could just get Soul Calibur for free.
Could be fun to have.
And then just pay for the DLC.
And then go make some godless abominations with that Soul.
Honestly, if I can come up with just 2 games, I'll just get Soul Calibur because why not?
Sure, unless we have some obvious other thing. Yeah. Yeah, I'm down with that.
Okay. So yeah, this is exciting. I need to play Nier, damn it.
And I feel like it was also probably a good time for Soul Calibur. I feel like there's a lot of other people who'd be like, yeah, I want Soul Calibur, but I don't know. And then if they're also a Nier fan, they'd be like, well, that.
Oh yeah, there's definitely been a fair amount. Like, I guess I'm getting Soul Calibur now, which fair. And who would get you be fighting 2B with Geralt? Like that's the thing. I told Jacob this. Whenever
I hope they have some fun dialogue between each other.
Yeah, I said whenever one of us gets this game and 2B comes out, we need to have you and him fight, you Geralt, him, 2B.
Yes.
And just make that thing.
That would be an awesome video.
And then that'd be one video. Then one video of us messing around in Character Creator.
But we gotta play that one up a lot.
And Alex will be on that one.
Yeah. But we have to set it up like we're getting out there, me and Jacob.
Ooh.
I'll go dress up. I'll go cosplay as Geralt, and he cosplays as 2B, and then we play.
Okay. Oh yeah, I'm just gonna say this real quick so I don't forget when we get to the Smash thing. I had an excellent idea for our stream for me and you to do. The whole stream is us doing Smashdown, and we tally up who wins the most in the end.
That'd be cool. Yeah, let's do it.
Yep.
Jeff, Smash is weeks. Away.
Yeah, it's 5 weeks away. Yep. Moving on. Jump Force news, because of course. Kenshiro from Fist of the North Star and Ryo from City Hunter were announced as playable characters. And Jump Force release date was also announced, and the game is coming February 15th. We knew February, we just didn't have the exact date. And as far as the characters announced, Kenshiro, no surprise, you probably even saw that coming.
I mean, I know Fist of the North Star. I would probably recognize the guy if I saw him. But
you're already dead guy.
Maybe
you know the meme. You've seen the meme.
Okay.
You have seen the meme.
I'll take your word for it.
Ryo is a very nice surprise, though. For people who may not know, like Darby, City Hunter is a very old manga from the 80s, which finished before I was even born. Which does not really have much relevance, honestly, in comparison. So this was a very nice surprise. I've not personally read City Hunter. It's something I know I'd probably like, so I might try to if I can.
That's cool to know that they will go out of just the mainstream.
Oh yeah, and a lot of people are hyped for this, which makes sense because this is a big surprise.
I mean, that also potentially opens the door. Maybe there's some other just out of nowhere surprises. Yep. Yeah.
So, kind of announcements are cool.
Devilman Crybaby, you got.
Yeah, that's Sony Jump. Okay, Dari, NPD time.
NPD sales time.
Okay, Darby, this is going to be an interesting one. September was a big month.
Yeah, take a wild guess, everyone, as to what number 1 is.
Yes. Yeah, and after I do a couple of these numbers, I'll have little facts to add to them as we go along.
I love little facts, Jeff.
Yeah. Number 1, Marvel Spider-Man.
What? What?
And that's not all. Marvel Spider-Man achieved the highest launch month dollar sales for any PlayStation exclusive in history.
Ever.
Beating out God of War, who was
the
previous title holder for like 4 months.
So he's having a pretty good year.
Yeah. And it's the 7th largest launch ever achieved by any game on any PlayStation platform.
Hot damn.
And Marvel Spider-Man achieved launch month sales 37% higher than the combined launch month sales of all other Spider-Man games released since the MPD Group began tracking in 1995. This game, Darby, selling hotcakes.
Selling.
To the surprise of no one, but I think it's probably blowing expectations.
Yeah, I mean, I imagine the expectations had to have been high, but that's pretty insane.
Yeah.
I mean, the 7th highest launch ever. That just means that there's some Call of Duty games above it.
It'd be most Call of Duties and
FIFAs and stuff like that, and that's
Grand Theft Auto, Gran Turismo, stuff like that.
Yeah, those are the only things. It's
yeah.
I could come up with 6 of those easy. And then you get the Spider-Man. It's holy shit. Yeah. The fact that it's above everything.
We are getting that sequel, folks.
Yeah, you don't say.
Number 2, NBA 2K19. Number 3, surprisingly on this list, Assassin's Creed Odyssey. It's only surprising because it's an October release.
Right.
This month went to October 6th or something for
not exactly clear why.
Yeah. But. And also, Assassin's Creed Odyssey appears on number 3 on the September charts with double-digit percentage dollar sales growth when compared to the launch of Assassin's Creed Origins a year ago. So, we were wondering if maybe back-to-back would actually hurt it.
Apparently not.
I think because Origins was a nice refresh that people were excited for the next thing. That seemed to be what I saw.
And some people missed Origins and just jumped on here or whatever.
Hearing Odyssey was as good as it is.
Yeah, I am glad that they have said that they're still going to take next year off. Because I don't want them to get back into this yearly thing again.
Okay, number 4, FIFA 19 excluding PC digital sales. Number 5, Shadow of the Tomb Raider enters the charts as the 5th best-selling game of September, achieving the 2nd highest launch month dollar sales for the franchise, following only Tomb Raider, which launched in 2013.
That last part doesn't really say too much because Rise of Tomb Raider came out on only Xbox.
But this is the whole franchise.
I mean, it said the biggest. Okay, yeah.
Going back,
okay,
ever.
Okay. I thought it was just these 3 games. I was like, that doesn't really mean too much. But I mean, anyway, regardless, I'm happy to see it as high as 5. I was a little worried it would be even below Madden and stuff like that, in their 2nd month. I just want this to get enough sales so that they don't consider it a failure and be like, oh, well, Tomb Raider's dead for another 10 years.
Yeah.
I'm worried about that. But I mean, that's not that bad. I mean, the 2013 Tomb Raider sold a lot. We kind of forget how much that game sold. So, I mean,
I agree.
The fact, I wouldn't expect it to be over that, but the fact that it's over everything else,
who knows?
just hope it's enough of a success.
Yep, we'll get to what I want to be enough of a success later.
I want that too, but
yeah, we'll get to my Square Enix version of that later. Number 6, Madden NFL 19, excluding PC digital sales. Number 7, Forza Horizon 4, and Forza Horizon 4 achieved the highest launch month dollar sales in Forza franchise history, and is the biggest launch for a racing game on any Xbox platform in history. So, did pretty good.
Yeah,
Forza usually do pretty well.
I've heard very, very good things about this one.
So that's one of the things. Racing games, or those kind of racing games, aren't our thing.
No. But if I was ever going to, the Horizon series is way what I would do instead of the normal Forza.
Especially since this would be on Game Pass stuff.
Yeah.
Okay, number 8, Destiny 2, excluding PC digital sales.
That Forsaken DLC.
Yep. Number 9, Super Mario Party.
Don't you forget that Super.
Sorry. That's excluding digital sales. I think that's pretty good.
That's a very solid
showing. Oh yeah. Also, this is with it being only on the charts for 2 days. 2 days. Days.
Yeah, I didn't think about that. Yeah. No,
that's 2-3 days, yeah.
And this is gonna be a game that's gonna keep selling as people get Switches and stuff, and especially around the holiday season.
This is an evergreen title, yeah.
You get this when your family's in for Christmas. This is gonna be that thing. And I'm just interested to see, because we've talked about it a lot. Obviously Mario Party is below Mario Kart and stuff, but I don't know and it's kind of been off for so long. I don't know what a good Mario Party sells now, but with the Switch this hot, probably a lot.
Yeah,
probably a lot. There's a lot of buzz.
Yeah, I think that's pretty good for this game in this month.
Yes,
with 2 days.
Yeah, I agree.
Number 10, NHL 19, and number 11. We're going there. Dragon Quest 11, Echoes of an Elusive Age.
I wonder why you just put the 11th.
I put new games on there. The rest of the chart wasn't that interesting. Dragon Quest 11 was the biggest launch month in franchise history with dollar sales for this franchise. Dollar sales more than double the previous best, Dragon Quest 9. But for context, so it doesn't make it sound as impressive. Dragon Quest 9 was a DS game, so it was like $35 compared to $60.
Right.
So it can sell the same amount of copies and have double the amount.
Right. So I mean, what do you think? Is 11 good for you, or were you hoping for more?
Obviously, I'm hoping for more, but the title. That's the thing, though. It's like,
what does this need?
Yeah, what does it need? And also the fact it is 11, but this month was stacked just all around.
Yeah.
Yeah. But I'm going to say this. I'm going to do a little rant. If Dragon Quest 11 doesn't completely sell that as well as I wanted to, I put at least a good chunk of the blame on Square Enix. Because
explain that.
They did not market this that well.
Right.
And they put this in a horrible month.
Oh yeah, I mean yeah.
They don't market it well. They put this in a horrible month and come out saying, well, if you guys don't buy enough, you guys just aren't getting Dragon Quest games.
This desperately needed an August release at least. Like
imagine if this came out in July like Octopath.
Oh yeah. I mean, we would be sitting here being like, holy crap, Dragon Quest just hit the top 3 or whatever in America on the MPDs. It would have been crazy, yeah. Like this, it's kind of hard to tell what an 11 means in September. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Again, we don't know what the threshold is for success for this. We don't know Dragon Quest legs, potentially, but I imagine that can have the greatest legs.
No. Yeah, and I mean, I'm not even someone who's that invested in the series or whatever, but I want it to get success in America, because I know I've heard about how good this is and just how big it is in Japan, and I don't want them to get to the point where it's like, well, and just with how much effort it seems like they put into this, marketing maybe they didn't, but the game, it seems like they put a lot of effort into making this.
They added voice acting just in general.
Yeah, and to make this as palatable as possible for an American audience by giving it voice acting when it didn't have it before, giving it all English voice acting. From what I've heard, pretty good English voice acting. They went a long way to do that.
They added the draconic mode stuff that wasn't in the original Japanese release. They added the hard mode for us.
Yeah, a lot of
and
things,
some other quality of life stuff.
But it does kind of feel like someone can convince the higher ups that hey, we should do this, and maybe if we do this, it'll get successful enough in America. So I hope it does.
And also, it kind of sucks is we're guaranteed we're getting another Dragon Quest game because it sold 3 million just in Japan. Yeah. Problem is, we may not get it.
I know, that's the problem. I don't know. The little bit I watched you play it made me want to play it.
Yeah. Okay. Okay, now we're gonna do the thing where we go over the top selling games of the year. Top 10. Number 1,
hanging on.
Far Cry 5. It's so weird that this is the top game because I feel like no one talks about it.
Yeah. I mean, it got talked about a little bit when it came out and got meh reviews or whatever, and then it wasn't surprising at the time. Just it's a multi-platform game. It's a big name. All these other things, whatever. There wasn't much else out at the time. It made sense. And obviously, it's not going to end there or whatever. By next month's thing or whatever, Call of Duty will probably be past it. But it is surprising to me that it's
Call of Duty, if not Red Dead as well.
Yeah. Oh yeah. By next month, both of them would be over it probably. Mm-hmm. But that is still surprising. Yeah. I mean, Ubisoft, I feel like they a lot of times, long into the year, Ghost Recon Wildlands was the top selling game for months and months and months.
Till Call of Duty, probably.
Yeah. So. Ubisoft's doing all right.
Number 2, God of War 2018. Still hanging on at number 2. It's going to go pushed down, but...
And it's going to get pushed down by...
Oh, yeah. Marvel Spider-Man. I was talking about Red Dead, and
it's also going to get pushed down by Marvel Spider-Man.
Yeah, sure. Yep. First month, instantly up to number 3 of the whole year. Yeah, and that is just going to keep on going.
Oh yeah.
Okay, number 4, Monster Hunter World. Still doing really good.
That makes me happy.
Yeah.
Makes me happy.
Number 5, jumping up there. NBA 2K19 after its first month. Not surprising.
Yep.
Madden NFL 19, not including PC digital sales. Number 7, Grand Theft Auto 5. At least it was in the top 10 regular thing this time. Number 8, Call of Duty World War II, excluding PC digital sales. Number 9, Dragon Ball FighterZ.
How about Dragon Ball FighterZ?
I know it's going to get knocked out, but I'm happy it was able to. It came out in January. It's been hanging on, man.
Yes.
I'm happy.
It's awesome.
And number 10, Mario Kart 8. A game that came out last April.
Wild.
Not including digital sales.
Wild. I mean, I guess Mario Kart 8 probably is like the signature, you gotta switch, you buy Mario Kart 8.
Yep. If you're going to buy any multiplayer game.
You're gonna buy it. Yeah. Cool.
Yeah.
Alrighty. Well, we got a little bit of time. What are we doing next, Jeffrey?
We're going to talk about Smash Derby.
Are we going into the Grinch stuff?
We're going into some Grinch stuff.
All right. Well, let's get them disclaimers out there before we put our tinfoil hats on.
Okay, a couple things. So, for one thing, the rest of the podcast can be Smash. So if you don't care,
that.
Bye. Have a good day.
Yeah. Hey, bye.
Thank you for listening. This far.
Start caring about Smash.
Yeah. But yeah, we're gonna be talking about the leak that came out last week.
Mm-hmm.
And disclaimer: I think it's false at this point. But we'll go into some of that. I'm not going to go all through the leak. There's a lot there.
Jeff hates fun.
Dario, this was a week ago. We'd be going all into it.
I obviously don't hate fun. Look at me.
And but there's reason. Also part of this might be the last time we're able to have fun predicting Smash stuff, Darby. Because there might be reason to believe there could be a Smash Direct this week.
You believe this, but not the Grinch? I stand with Grinch.
Yeah. If not next week, which we may not be recording a podcast, so either way, this week or next week.
Right. This might be the last time we don't know at least most of the roster.
I gotta imagine this Direct, we know all the base roster.
You don't think there's any more zingers they're saving? We're only 5 weeks away.
I mean, they said they're going to announce it. I don't know when they announce it. I don't expect the general Direct.
Jeff, XO.
You're right.
Mr. Banjo, Mr. Kazooie.
You're right. But Kazooie's a girl. I'm sorry.
Miss Kazooie.
Okay, so I'm just gonna go on some basic stuff about the league. Just honestly, I'm not even gonna mention the Grinch stuff for the most part.
No faith.
You can read up on the stuff if you want a fun time. Okay, so here we go. There is a potential leak where, I guess spoilers as well if the case happens to be real.
Yeah. If it happens to be real and you want all the things you want to experience them as they're dropped.
Oh, Dario, I was going to throw this out there if you really want to do it for the thumbnail. Grinch with a cowboy hat on.
Oh, that'd be great.
I'll leave that up to you.
Yeah.
There's a potential leak where someone who apparently works at a company that makes advertising material for companies leaked the final Smash Bros. Lineup by posting a photo of the final mural on Snapchat. The characters from the leak include Ken from Street Fighter, Shadow the Hedgehog from Sonic the Hedgehog, Isaac from Golden Sun, Mach Rider from Mach Rider, Chorus Kids from Rhythm Heaven, Gino from Super Mario RPG, and Banjo-Kazooie.
And Bingo Darby.
And the Grinch, of course. As of this recording, no one has definitively proved this leak false. Although there are apparently some visual inconsistencies in regard to the mural's background compared to other versions of it. I don't know about that stuff, so I'm not really going to get into all that.
Okay. Yeah, you are way more the authority on this thing.
Yeah. And also there are many coincidences that have made people believe it is true.
Yeah, I mean, we'll get into it.
Like, if this is fake...
There is a lot of weird circumstances that made it seem true if it is fake.
Yeah.
Maybe that's by design.
Yeah.
But
a big reason people believe this is fake, or part of the reason, is because many insiders, such as the people from Game Explain, Imran Khan from Game Informer, Laura K. Dale from Kotaku UK, Steve Bunley from Nintendo Life, and many more have either alluded to or have outright said this is fake. There's no way to tell what they know that makes them think this is fake or make them know this is fake, but it seems to be at least partly because the leak lacks a new Pokemon / Incineroar, and they know this in the game.
Yeah.
And it's in game.
I mean, is there... I mean, it's obviously probably not, but is there a chance that these people have seen Incineroar, because Incineroar might have been, like... I mean, kind of funny, Tim did say this in kind of funny, it made somewhat sense or whatever. It's probably not true. Whatever. It's probably weird conspiracy theory. But what if they got the rights for Banjo or whatever late, wanted to put Banjo in the game, didn't have time or whatever, they had already worked on Incineroar or something, but they pushed Incineroar back to DLC in order to get the big announcement with Banjo getting in the game.
There's a chance, but...
So these people have seen Incineroar, but Incineroar's not going to make it into the final game.
I mean, there's always a chance of that, but I feel like Incineroar is more of a recent, since Smash was like E3 type thing. People are hearing about Incineroar. So it'd be kind of weird if he was pushed back / cut this late in the game.
Yeah. They also brought up, didn't something similar happen with Sonic?
Yes, but the game was delayed. So if that if that happened,
yeah.
Like, some people are theorizing that happened at E3 because Phil Spencer specifically said he went to lunch with the people at Nintendo. But the official reason is, and I believe him...
I mean, I think if this happened, it happened earlier than that.
Yeah. I don't think that'd be the case of cutting Incineroar.
I don't think so either. I was just wanting to voice if it was a possibility, or if you thought it was a possibility. But
yeah. I mean, some of these insiders have kind of said that potentially the mural could be true, like the leak could be true, it just doesn't have everyone on it.
That would be weird.
But then
we had everyone else on it.
Yeah. But here's the thing about that. They're just saying, like, technically this could be true. Right. They don't think it is. But then we'd be getting over 7 characters in the next month. Announced.
Yeah. It seems like way too many for me, but that I would think. But
yeah. Especially if we got the 7 on the mural plus
everything Seemed like it was falling into place, Jeff.
Yeah.
All the pieces were fitting together.
By the Grinch.
by the grace of our Lord Grinch.
Praise be to him.
So the nerds at large Smash and like expert Jeff Mayo thinks this is probably fake.
Yes. But Darby, that doesn't mean characters from this leak aren't in the game. That's also been a funny, weird thing with leaks like this. When a leak is disconfirmed, people instantly think means those characters aren't in at all.
Yeah, that's not how that works.
Yeah, that's not how it works.
I mean, like, if someone's making a leak, they're going to want to try to make it believable, so they're going to include some characters that
are likely.
They are very likely, yeah.
But there's...
And we pretty much know Ken's in this, right?
I mean, yeah. No, that's the thing. If Ken was... Incineroar got people like, eh. Yeah. But if Ken wasn't in it, then people were like, what you doing? Get this
out of my face.
No, but again, this leak was very... so many coincidences and stuff. It makes you think, like, if this is fake, it's not confirmed yet, this guy obviously follows Smash hype and knows what people look for in all the past leaks.
The whole, the business he worked at and the Grinch thing is...
Yeah, there were some weird things about the business thing that... I'm not going to get into all that. I can't even remember all that. But, and something completely unrelated to the leak, Nintendo released a new trailer to promote their college tour thing, where, different games, or one college football game each week, they have a truck there and they play Smash.
Should have come to a home USC game.
Yeah. Within the trailer, there's a few seconds of new footage. In this new footage, there seems to be a new item. The item is a sprout within an orb. The popular theory right now, from last I heard, is related to Golden Sun, because it apparently is the same icon for spells, a spell in Golden Sun, and orbs are involved in Golden Sun.
That's like the exact same icon or something?
Yeah, or very similar. It makes sense if this was the 3D version of it, because it's a GBA game.
Interesting.
But that's not confirmed. Or somehow related to the new healing field item, which is Smash Bros. Made up item.
Right.
Yeah, but it has a sprout on it, but people have used it and in the beta or the demos and stuff at events. We've seen it been used.
I feel like they would be smart enough to not put something like that in the trailer.
It's 1 pixel. It's just there for a split second. And people had to zoom in and do some stuff to make it so you could see it completely.
Okay.
So if this is Golden Sun, that could point to Isaac being in the game.
Right.
But Isaac being in does not prove that this leak. I mean,
no. I mean, Isaac's one that we've been talking about potentially being in there long before this leak happened. Yeah,
Isaac has a possibility.
Yeah.
So I mean, there's a chance we could get like, let's say 5 out of the 7 of these characters, and the leak's then not true. Still,
and I think Shadow is in the game.
Yeah.
It's just independent of any leak. But
I say the most likely of these characters that we would get are Ken, of course, Shadow, Isaac, probably Gino, maybe
lame.
Chorus Kids.
So lame. Yeah, and Chorus Kids.
Chorus Kids, we have like.
Was Chorus Kids one of those that we had evidence that they were working on?
Yes.
Chorus Kids back in like Brawl or something like that.
Yeah. Yes.
Yeah.
Them and Crom.
Yeah.
And we got Crom. So, yeah. Okay. So and part of the reason I wanted to do this is because, again, this could be the last time we're able to talk about Smash and for predictions.
We're gonna have like 5 minutes tops of Smash talk.
Oh, yeah, but is that time?
I mean, I want this to be 140.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay, but yeah, just real quick. The reason, I mean, anyone will probably know by the time you would hear this, obviously, but there's reason to believe there's a direct this week.
Yes.
Because insiders have kind of been hinting at it today, and there might be more updates since we've been recording this podcast. For example, John Cartwright from Game Explain this morning posted a GIF of an otter.
With like no descriptions.
Just an otter eating a banana.
Is he known for posting random ass GIFs?
Okay, but yeah, let me just go on. I wanted to throw just the whole otter out there with no context. Now let me get the context. John is a moderator on Resetera.
Was it hard to take me seriously?
I never take you seriously. So
okay, that works.
That's a secret. He's a moderator on Resetera, so he posts a good bit in. He has to follow all that. He unfortunately has to sit through all the people's garbage on there. By garbage, I mean just crazy. Them being crazy.
You mean garbage?
Yeah, I mean the crazy garbage. During the direct Fred for September, when it was rumored / it was announced or whatever, and before the direct started, I don't know. I kind of missed how it started. I can't remember. But at some point, otters just became a meme. Like, people just posted a lot of otters, and he was kind of the forefront of making a lot of otter puns and posting a lot of otter pictures. I don't know why.
I'm down with it. Otter's cool.
So, just so people know, the bringers of Nintendo hype right now are otters and Chibi Robo on Fire.
Okay.
That's just the way things work now.
I mean, I know Chibi Robo on Fire.
Yeah, but now otters are in now.
Did we never get any context?
Nope.
For Chibi Robo on Fire, that was just something that Nintendo.
That is something they did.
I love it.
And Nintendo did something with otters. Maybe that's what did. I can't remember.
Maybe.
But
I kept wanting to go to Monty Mole, but he's a mole.
But anyway, because we have reason to believe John does have some inside information specifically. Right. Like, he called the whole Final Fantasy thing as a prediction.
But did he know? Did he say afterwards that he knew?
He said he didn't. He said it was a lucky guess, but he said the exact games and specifically left out 8.
I mean, yeah. Yeah. 8 does always get the shout.
Plus, moderators talk, and normally when they...
I mean, I could see where you would get to that assumption because they had already, like, made ports and stuff of the other ones, right? It was like 8. I feel like...
Yeah,
I remember people saying, like, it's easier for them to put the other 3 because they've already done ports and stuff of them where they haven't 8, so it's not as simple as just, like...
Yeah, it's called, like, something else in it, but...
Anyway.
But, also, Resetera moderators seem to be talk all that stuff and share all that kind of fun stuff. But obviously, when in the Smash thread, because they're crazy people, they posted his tweet in the otter thing saying, "Hey, this probably means we're getting the direct," because obviously the otter means direct, and he knows our reaction to this be, so he wouldn't fake it. And people were like, "Hype! Oh, direct's coming." He posted in there and didn't reference it at all. Normally, he would go, "No, guys, this isn't the direct. I'm just posting otters."
Wait, he posted another otter?
No. He posted the thread, just chatting about some other topic. He didn't reference people posting the otter thing.
Right.
And then, since then, other insiders have been hinting at something coming this week. Also, another moderator posted who says he doesn't have inside information, but whatever, said this week makes a lot of sense because I didn't think about this. You know what comes out this Friday, Darby?
What comes out this Friday?
The Super Smash Brothers Switch bundle comes out Friday.
Pre-orders or something?
No, it comes out. The Switch bundle you can buy with the digital version of the game comes out.
Get the download.
This Friday. Yeah. Doesn't it make sense to market that?
It do.
I didn't think about that.
So do you think? So right now, are you thinking like maybe announcement of it tomorrow, Direct Wednesday?
Nintendo's investors meeting stuff's going on like today and tomorrow, or times are like today and tomorrow. Like by tonight, we'll get all those fancy sales information for Nintendo, or at least by tomorrow. So that stuff will be going on. So they may not do that then, or they could announce it in the middle of that to get the investors excited, like, yay, people are gonna be happy about Smash.
Yeah,
that kind of thing. So
yeah, I feel like, aren't these normally on Wednesdays, or are they kind of random? Like
kind of random. Wednesday, like it makes. I think the last two directs were on Thursdays, maybe. So
Wednesday would work better for me. So do it on Wednesday.
Yeah, it makes like they can announce it Tuesday or Wednesday for they can announce it tomorrow for Wednesday or Thursday, or they can announce it on Wednesday for Thursday. They've announced directs the day before it sometimes.
Okay,
so that could happen. It'd be interesting to see. Yeah, so
hype.
Could expect we'll have the new characters. We'll probably get in Center or get
Ken definitely. Shadow.
Probably Shadow.
I mean, do you think they could just do like a bam, here's all these different characters, like boom, one after another
I don't see any reason why we wouldn't get at least as many as the last Smash Direct.
How many we get last
5
Direct? Okay.
I could see us getting Ken Shadows that goes into the uniques.
Okay.
Please be Sora as the Square rep. Or a Dragon Quest person.
Dragon Quest would be easier just because you wouldn't have to deal with the Disney crap. But we'll probably just get
I just want to throw this out there for the Sora thing. Disney let Sega put Wreck-It Ralph and Sonic Racing Transformed. I'm just saying. I'm sure Wreck-It Ralph means more to them than Sora.
We live in the dumb universe, though.
Yeah. So, hype. And we'll obviously hear about Spirits and Poly Online. And a whole bunch of other crazy, more assist trophies and stuff.
Well, I can't wait. This game needs to get injected straight into my veins.
Yep.
As soon as possible.
Yep. If we don't get it by next week, I'm going to be like, what's going on? Just saying. Just makes sense.
You hear that, Nintendo?
Be like, I was throwing this one last thing for it being like this week or next week. With Nintendo specific directs, people have done, looked at the patterns and stuff, and it averages about between 25 to 35 days before the game comes out, which fits within starting Thursday and the next week and stuff. It fits in that time frame, so
it's happening.
It's happening. We are at least I'm going to react to it. I assume Darby. Hopefully, just
are you gonna do a live reaction even if I'm out of commission?
Of course.
Good. I'm glad. I just didn't know.
Darby, what if Sora or Banjo are...
I know. I would be disappointed if you didn't. So, tune into... I can show you tonight or whatever you want to know exactly how to do all that. But stay tuned to our YouTube channel or Twitch channel, whichever one we do, for Jeff's live reactions.
And then look forward to our discussion of it, because we will be discussing that. We will, even if we don't record a regular podcast, we'll get together to at least talk about that for an hour.
I'll be really high. It'll be great. Thank you guys so much for listening to the podcast this week. Stay tuned for our Spider-Man Spoilercast at some point. Might be soon, but we'll see.
Look forward to more Red Dead discussions.
More Red Dead discussions will be happening probably for multiple podcasts in a row. This is just one of these that as we progress more and more into it, we're going to keep on discussing.
I'll throw this out there. Look forward within the next couple of weeks. Final impressions from Darby for Astrobot.
Yeah, probably about to go play that right now, actually. Yeah. And and then pretty soon we have Game Awards and stuff to talk about. We have some pretty cool video game just events.
Oh yeah, I guess
prepare for.
Oh wait, let me check one thing real quick. Maybe cut this out.
Jeff, check one thing real quick.
This might be important.
I mean, because Game Awards is really a few weeks away as well, right?
It's the day before Smash.
Yeah, so it's not that long away, and we are definitely gonna do some prediction stuff.
Dang it. Okay.
Betting.
Never mind. XO's in less than 2 weeks, so I was checking to see when the Gamecocks game is in relation. Just real quick. So maybe look for a live reaction this last discussion to that. We'll see.
Yeah, maybe we'll see how that goes. If not, we will discuss it. And if Fable's there, I'll lose my mind.
And if Banjo's there, I will lose my mind.
We might both lose a mind.
Let's see if it's positive with my mind though. If it's like nuts and bolts too, then
thought you were talking about Banjo for Smash.
Banjo to E, Banjo for Smash. Either way, I'd be losing my freaking mind.
All of the above. All right. Bye, you guys.